I got a few personal messages asking me about a topic I kind of touched on in my last video, which is a minor eating disorder that I have sporadically, not constantly. Sometimes I get into phases where it seems like every day is some kind of a holiday where I have to eat a lot to celebrate. And most recently and most spectacularly was when I first moved to Redmond. What had happened was a year before, the 2013, I was working at Bloomberg in New York City, and I did not like New York City for a number of reasons. Most importantly, the air quality there was making me very ill. And I also had some cultural issues, and I wrapped up what I could at Bloomberg. And I took a job at Microsoft here in Redmond, and in the excitement to start Microsoft, I started a little bit too early. I should have had a little bit of a gap in between to do some stuff that I'd like. The other issue was that I guess I got a little bit too greedy. At the time, silver prices had hit a low, and I wanted to start investing. And I didn't want to take time off and lose that opportunity. And so a combination of greed and excitement. Anyways, whatever the case, I started work at Microsoft on June 1st of 2014. And when I moved here to Redmond, I was very excited. And my first day here, I went to my apartment complex, but I couldn't move in. The landlord required renter's insurance, and when I bought it, it took a day to kick in, and I guess they just don't want anything to happen. And so I went to get a hotel room, and I got so excited that I went out and I bought lots and lots of food, mostly microwavable stuff. There's a whole section of natural microwavable food at the grocery store here. There's a QFC, and then bags of natural chips, made with coconut oil, and entire 24 packs of non-alcoholic beer. I literally had to take several trips to the grocery store. And you see, part of the problem with binge eating is that it happens one meal at a time. You don't go out and you don't swallow a pill containing 100,000 calories in order to get high. You eat 100 calories worth of chips at a time until it adds up to 100,000 calories. That's the big problem for me. If I swallow something and I get high, I'm going to realize that I have a problem. But everybody needs to eat 100 calories at a time. It's just that I eat it, and then I eat more, and then I eat more, and then I eat more. I think that's my big downfall. Part of the reason that when I quit drinking soda, that I quit cold turkey entirely, is that it eliminates that problem. It's not even a beverage anymore. It's just like when I look at a bottle of bleach, I don't start to consider how many drops of it I can drink before I get sick. It's just not a beverage anymore. I'm sure you can drink a few drops or even a cup of bleach without getting seriously ill, but why would I? It doesn't even taste good. It's not a beverage. Any event, I start celebrating, and I'm thinking, it's my first day moving here. I'm finally out of New York, and I wolf it all down. I go out and I get more food, and it seemed like I spent a good percentage of my signing bonus right there on the food of those first couple of days. I get back to my apartment complex, so now the renter's insurance is kicked in, and I sign some documents, and I go up to my unit, and I go into my bedroom. Oh my God, I finally have, in New York, the apartments are just very low quality, and, this is a brand new building. I'm moving into a brand new unit. I go out and I get food to celebrate. You see, the problem with food is that every meal you eat, none of it seems like a celebration, because every meal is just that. It's one meal. Well, that's the problem I have with food. It's kind of like I'm trying to think. It's hard to describe. It's not something I go out and I say I'm gonna eat 100,000 calories tonight in order to get high, and it happens 1 calorie at a time, literally, and so I go out. I get so this time I have somewhere to cook. I remember getting chicken drumsticks because I wanted to eat something healthy. If it's gonna be a binge, it better be healthy. And I cook it, and I wolf it all down. I go out and I get more, and it was like I couldn't get enough because I'm excited about starting my job. And next day, I think I moved in on a Saturday. So on Monday, when I finally get to work, I had a decent day actually of getting to know people. I'm always excited about meeting new people. You see, sometimes it feels like the job is one of the few places I can go to actually meet people. It's kind of tough for me to talk to normal everyday people. I don't follow news. I don't follow sports all that much. Uh, I actually I hate to say this, but sometimes when I see a natural disaster on the news, and you see, I love science, and it gives me something to read about. You know, when we had the tsunami, when we have financial crises, I love studying how finance works, and it gives me something to talk about. I kind of thrive on disaster in terms of my social connections. It's kind of a sin, but unfortunately, that's how my life has turned out because I just don't find it exciting when a sports team wins or loses, or when I love Taylor Swift, but when I hear news about how she made $50 million, or she marries somebody, or she breaks up with, it's just not exciting for me. It doesn't have science behind it. It doesn't have it doesn't have politics behind it. It doesn't have anything to study behind it except that two people fell in love, or just her music sounds really good and people are willing to spend $50 million on it. That's all it is. There's nothing to study about it. And anyways, so I finally meet people at work, and where I can talk about software and C++ and math, and it gives me stuff to talk about. Yeah, unfortunately, we have the Super Bowl coming up, and people are talking about it. I just can't find that stuff exciting. It's probably a sin for me to thrive on drama. Anyways, I get home, I go wolfing again, and I'm eating 50 to 100,000 calories a day, every day for that first week. And I kind of forgave myself because, these are unusual circumstances. They will pass. And I remember within a week of moving to Redmond, I was shopping for new clothes because I couldn't fit into. I had small clothing, and I went out to get medium-sized clothing, and even that didn't stop me. The next week, I have two big anniversaries in June every year. June 11, June 13th. June 11 of 2011, I was at a conference in Boston, and for the first time in my life, a girl starts a conversation with me. I had noticed her the previous night at the conference. I didn't think I was worthy to say anything to her, and so the next day I went to the conference room early to kind of spy on her. I wanted to see what she was up to. When she got into the room, my plan was to exit through the back door of the conference hall and to go back into the front door of the conference hall and sit down next to her. That way, it wouldn't look like I had changed seats to sit down next to her. So I sat at the very back of the conference room, and she walks up to the back of the conference room. She sits down and next to me, and she starts asking me what I'm working on with my. I was working on my PhD at the time, and so that was that, and it was the first time ever a girl starts a conversation with me. A year before that, on June 13, 2010, I couldn't find a girl to come with me to a coin show. in the past, coin shows were a common place I brought dates to, and that was the first coin show I went to alone in almost a year and a half, actually. And I went to that coin show alone, but it was the best time I ever had in my life. And it was all good. But unfortunately, 4 years later, now I'm binge eating because of the excitement of moving to Redmond, plus the anniversaries. And so yeah, toward the end of that month, I barely was fitting into the medium-sized clothing, and that was my wake-up call. And I eventually settled down. I think I just needed to get into that routine of, having a new safe place to live and a good place to work. And what worried me was 3 weeks ago when I started a new job at C2 Education. It's a part-time job because I'm working on starting up my business. I worried that I might do that again. But it wasn't so bad. It was just a new job. It wasn't a new home and a new job. It's part of the problem with food is that it can be used to for quite a number of things. If I'm going to, like, in the summer when I go to the computer gaming conference, I know I'm gonna binge eat. I'm either gonna be celebrating or I'm gonna be drowning my losses. It's a very versatile drug, if you will. It can be both a stimulant or a depressant, depending on the context in which it is used. And fortunately for me, I get away with it very well, which is kind of unfortunate, because if I didn't get away with it so well, I might control it a lot better. You see, I don't get away with drinking soda very well, so that's why I quit drinking soda 14 years ago now. And so it's almost a curse in disguise in some ways. Thanks for watching.